Hi and welcome to a whole bag of tricks. Today we are going to see about the tips for introducing phonics to young children. Compared to other topics, parents usually find phonics a little hard subject to teach, mainly because you cannot show a sound. Say for example, if when you're teaching apple, ball and so on, you can either show the object or use a flashcard. But when it comes to sound like a, ba, f, g, you cannot show the sound. You have to, the kid cannot visually see the sound and it makes it hard for them to understand, remember and so on. So here are some tips to make it easier for you. First, it is not advisable. None of the experts I have ever spoken with has recommended teaching phonics in the alphabetical order. But when you take YouTube channels, most of the phonics songs you see will be sung from A to Z. Experts recommend two methods. The first method is teaching them the sounds that they commonly use. Obviously, vowels will come in this category, and followed by some of the common alphabets like S, T, D, B, and so on. Then moving on to the less used alphabets like Z, X, V, W, and F. Another method is teaching the continuous or long phonics first and then moving on to stop sounds. This method is commonly used in schools. Continuous phonics are the ones that you can stretch a little, like so on. Usually, again, the vowels will come under this category, and other alphabets like F, L, M, N, R, S, V, W, Y, and Z are all continuous sounds. When it comes to stop sounds, these cannot be stretched, like B, D, G, H, J, K, K, P, T. Look at the sounds: B, K, P, D, G, T, H. These cannot be stretched. These are stop sounds. And first teach the kids the long continuous sounds and then move on to stop sounds. Flashcards are a very great tool to teach a lot of things to kids. But when it comes to phonics, you should know how to use those flashcards. You cannot just take a snake flashcard and say it's is, or an apple flashcard and say it's The kid cannot understand what part of that snake or apple is or You need a flashcard with the image and also the spelling under it, and this S or the A and the S or the A in the spelling should be underlined or in a different color. You can use the normal flashcard you have, write the spelling under it and underline the S or A or whatever sound you're teaching to showcase that actually is for yes in that snake. Beyond flashcards, your kid should know how to move their tongue, lips, and cheekbone for each pronunciation. This is why using videos for phonics is not going to be very efficient. While teaching a sound, your kid should be seeing how you move your mouth, like facial muscles, to get to that sound. For instance, you are teaching them B for ball, B. The kid should see how you are moving your lips. In cases where there should be an emphasis or stress on a sound, show some hand gesture or some form of visual clue for them to see that there is a stress on that sound. Say for example, for K, the sound is K. If your kid is pronounced as K, and again you have to show that it is a stopping sound, K. Show a hand gesture or a click, indicate that the sound stops instantly. K, not ka. K. Phonics is not something that your kid has to remember alone. Like, it is not 26 different sounds the kid has to memorize. More than memorization, the kid has to associate those words, those sounds to the alphabets. Say for example, you are teaching the alphabet O. Teach them 4 to 5 words with the sound and then ask the kid to find other words with the same sound. The trick here is to not use the words that the kid very well know. For example, most of the kids know that O is for orange. So don't use orange. Use other words, like teach them like octopus, onion, orangutan, and so on. And then ask the kid to find other words with the same sound. Since orange is the word that the kid usually hears, it can easily relate it to the O, and the kid will find orange. It will be very motivating for the kid that he or she has found the word that you are asking for. This motivation is actually very important for the kid to understand and read phonics because there's nothing visual for them to see. So these kind of motivations and little appreciation will go a long way. Say you have completed all the phonics basic phonics sounds and you're teaching them to join two sounds to make a word. Let's say at, it's at, at, so it's a t at. I have seen a lot of parents doing this, like they give a long gap between the two sounds. It will be like a t at. When you give a long gap, the kid will find it very hard to join it and make a sound. Make sure that the gap is very less. A t at. Call out random phonic sounds and your kid has to write the alphabet associated with that. If a kid is too young for writing, you can make flashcards, like and take a chart paper, cut it into 26 pieces and write each alphabet in it. Place it on the table, and when you call out each sound, the kid has to show the card. Say you say k, the kid has to take k, and you say the kid has to take o, and so on. This activity will help the kid to associate those sounds with the alphabet, and also increase the speed of your dictation as you go on. The next activity is to give an unfamiliar word to your kid and ask them to write down the spelling or spell it out. Remember that all the words do not spell as they sound. So your aim is not to make them the right spelling, but see their ability to break down this word, like segment the word into small pieces and find the sound, like alphabet associated with each sound, and write it down. Usually the resulting spelling will be wrong, but the ideology here is not to find the right spelling, but to check how well they are able to associate this sound alphabet with the sound. For example, when I tried this with my kid, I gave her the word medicine and she wrote it as Medizye. Appreciate this effort, but also correct the spelling, because the kid should not believe that this is the right spelling. Give as many examples as possible for each sound. Say you're teaching ch sound, give them 5 or 10 examples and ask them to come up with more. This way the kid will associate those sounds with those alphabets. It will be easier for the kid to understand and differentiate the sounds too. And moreover, you cannot expect the kid to master all this in a week or a month. It takes a long time. Give consistent training and your kid will do it well.